And he's been miserable at the fundamentals of the game. It isn't a question of reading defenses or picking up blitzes. It's been getting the snap from center and being able to get away and hand the ball off.
Halftime statistics, really not great numbers for anybody. The Dolphins with only 89 passing yards and 53 rushing yards. The story really comes down to turnover, because the Dolphins committed only one in the first half. The Jets with those two big interceptions. And field position has also been important, although the Jets have not really taken advantage of it. Miami to kick off, and A.B. Brown and Terrence Mathis waiting at the goal line. Mathis a yard deep in the end zone. And stopped shy of the 20-yard line. So the Jets will start in poor field position as we open the third quarter. Cliff Odom downfield to make the tackle for Miami special teams. Joe, when you had a poor first half for whatever reason.
I had a lot of them.
No, you didn't either. How difficult was it to come back and play better in the second half?
I'll tell you in a second.
1st and 10 Jets. The running back is rookie Scotty Green. And he'll get the carry. And doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Once again, Griggs with the fine play.
To answer your question, Mike, it was actually a lot easier to come back, especially when you're only down 7. You, more than anybody, realize what you weren't doing right, so you get a chance to do it in the second half. Brian Cox is all over the field. Number 51 just comes around the corner. Ken Wiesenhunt tries to block him. He can't, and he just makes the play. Between Griggs and Cox, they got great bookends on that defense to put pressure on both the runners and passers in an offense.
2nd and 11. Nagel with good protection this time, throws underneath to Burkett. Burkett will gain a couple of yards, and that's all.
Well, they used to call him Mean Joe Green, but now he's a coach, so he's just Coach Joe Green. Still one of the all-time greats. He's made a tremendous difference in this defense also. Brian Cox gives him an awful lot of credit for teaching him how to use counter moves in both run and pass defense. When he takes on blockers, he gets rid of them. Jim Sweeney, as a matter of fact, the offensive center of the Jets, feels like that Joe Green's influence has made a difference also.
3rd and 8 for the Jets. 3 wide receivers. Nagel under pressure, throws short. It's complete, but that's going to be way short of a first down. He got it out to Johnny Mitchell, the tight end. Let's see where they'll mark his forward progress. He may have the first down. There's also a flag on the play.
Roughing the passer, number 51 of the offense, 15 yards, first down.
Big play there, and Cox, the man ticketed for that one.
Number 51, the upper part, left part of your screen. He makes the corner. He turns around.
Yep.
I'm a quarterback. Yeah, it was a little bit late, but I mean, I sort of agree with Brian. He didn't use his helmet. All he did was push him around. But you got to remember the environment now in the league.
Got unsportsmanlike conduct against number 51, 15 yards, first down.
Brian Cox said, when I get emotional, I do stupid things. And he just did a stupid thing.
I'll grant him the fact that maybe the penalty, he hit him a little bit late. But to get an unsportsmanlike on top of it is not going to make Coach Shula happy at all. You can't do things on a field to hurt the football team.
That's 30 yards on that play.
When they may have been short of the first down. Here it is. Look, all he does is push him. I think it's questionably late. I really do. But you got to remember, they're going to protect the quarterback.
But then he argues about it and gets 15 on top of it. So the Jets in Miami territory near the 40. Nagel pump fake, never had a chance, got away. Now he'll be sacked at the 49 by Stephen Braggs. Somehow he got away from the nose man, Klingbeil, but Braggs wouldn't let him go.
He really is making some athletic plays. We saw him make that spin around move away from Marco Coleman the first half. Klingbeil, they try and cut him. They can't. He's got him wrapped up. And Klingbeil's 265. Nagel can't quite make a play. Tries to ball fake him. It's not going to happen. Braggs yanks him down.
A loss of 9 on the sack, 2nd and 19. A.B. Brown to the Dolphin 43-yard line.
What Browning Nagel has to do now is he's got to take a deep breath and settle himself down. They just got some nice breaks. He's got to try and not get everything. Just take what the defense is giving him. And this is the defense. They're giving him the little 15-yard stuff. The one he tried to force down the middle was an interception. He can't try and do it all. That's the one thing that he's going to have to learn. Got to let his teammates help him.
3rd and 14 for the Jets. And there's a flag down.
Okay. Before the snap, number 83, false start. 5 yards, it's still 3rd down.
That's the tight end, Johnny Mitchell, the #1 draft choice out of Nebraska.
They've had to totally remake him. When he was in Nebraska, he never really blocked anybody at the line of scrimmage. That's the one thing he has to learn. Nobody questions his hands or his athletic ability, but he still has to work on becoming a total tight end.
Only 21 years old. The Jets, 23rd in the league on 3rd and long. Coleman did not quite get there. The pass behind Burkett, but he made the catch at the 44-yard line. Now another official comes in and says it's incomplete. Coleman went right at the ankles of Browning Nagel from behind.
He said he feels like when he's down in the defensive end position, he can really come off the ball quick. This is real time. Look at him go around the corner. Malamala doesn't stand a chance. He's got to grab him, and Coleman's upset.
Boy, and he's got a right to be, too.
And Jim Sweeney said, listen, we, meaning him and some of the offensive linemen of the Jets, have voted Marco Coleman Rookie Defensive Player of the Year. So that tells you the respect the Jets have for him.
Williams and Miller are back. And Aguiar kicks one over the rim of the stadium. Takes a Jets bounce inside the 20. So Aguiar sacrificed the distance, only 29, but it's a good punt.
Is brought to you by Cadillac, changing the way you think about American automobiles. And by McDonald's. What you want is what you get, guaranteed, at McDonald's today.
Joe Green talking to the defensive line on the Miami sideline. They have certainly done their job tonight, shutting out the Jets and putting a lot of pressure on Brian Nagel. 7-0 Miami. They take over at their own 20. Play action Marino under pressure from Washington. Trying to throw for Jackson, and he nearly hit Bobby Houston in the back with it.
Now remember,
Washington putting on a lot of pressure. Excuse me, Joe.
Remember, if he doesn't have his hands up face guarding and Dan hits him in the back, it's not pass interference. It's
not
just
only
going back into coverage.
Not only hands up, he's got to be waving them.
Watch this, number 55. He gets hit. He didn't get hit back. He hit the left cheek. That's using everything you have at disposal to knock the ball down.
Marino, 8 out of 14, only 93 yards in the game. Very un-Marino-like statistic. Throws in the flat, Page up to the 28. That's about a yard and a half shy of a first down.
I felt like the first half that the Dolphins tried to force the run into their game plan. They felt like they had to run the football. I think for this Dolphin offense to be effective, you have to put the ball in the hands of Dan Marino. Let him hit Page. Let him hit Clayton. Let him hit Jackson. That's the way I think this offense best functions in a rhythm.
3rd and 2 for Miami. They go to the run on 3rd and short, and Higgs has the first down and across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Marvin Washington made the tackle. Higgs, a tough little guy out of Kentucky, 5'7", 195.
Keith Sims, number 69. Richmond Webb, number 78. Do a nice job on the left side of the line. Marvin Washington gets driven back, has to make the tackle, but it's 5 yards downfield. Oh, number 49, Tony Page. He just clears a hole. I mean, if I'm Higgy, I'm just going to follow Tony anyway.
Higgs, they try to run behind that side again and only get about a yard this time.
They're protecting a 7-point lead, but I don't think they're doing it in the fashion that is comfortable for them. You're gaining 1 yard. You're coming up 2nd and 9. You have to throw anyway. And now the defense realizes it, and Coach Shula looks on and I think wants to try and generate. They keep talking about trying to generate a running game, but you can't just force it. Pete Carroll says, I'm not going to let you do it.
A running game 23rd in the league. The passing game is 2nd. Marino with a quick set, and Brim had a better shot at that one than Martin did as they tried to throw the quick slant or post.
There's the pass analysis. Thrown 2 receptions and completion percentages. Bobby Humphrey, 71%. The tight end, Jackson, 80%. Running back, Page, 84%. Then you look at Martin, Clayton, and Duper, all below 55%. That's where he wants to go in this situation. He wants to work inside, tight ends and back.
3rd and 9. And Humphrey is in on 3rd and long. Marino steps up into the pocket, intended for Jackson, intercepted by Hasty. Hasty back to the Miami 40-yard line. You knew they wanted to go to Jackson, so did the Jets.
I mean, with Clayton out of the game, they've got Tony Martin in.
8:05 to go, 3rd quarter. Back.
That was the case.
And did not apparently like the route, either that was called or run. Second turnover of the night. First hit by Jeff Cross, and there's Jackson on the sideline. Couldn't come up with it with Washington on his back. And Marino with his first interception of the evening. And still very upset about it.
He is absolutely irate. I mean, he's irate at the production of the offense and the events that have happened.
Don Shula just got an earful as he walked by. 2nd and 7 for the Jets. They've been in Miami territory several times. Can't come out with anything. Graham runs into his own man, then bursts forward down to the 32-yard line, about a yard shy of a first down. David Griggs again in on the tackle.
When you talk to the defense, different guys on the Dolphin defense, you talk about Marco Coleman. They say the thing he really brings is excellent run stopping. There's 2 blocks trying to take him on. Malamala tries to run him out. And he runs Graham back inside where his teammates can make the tackle.
And even at 259 pounds, he has stood up very well at that defensive end spot. 3rd and a yard. Graham hit in the backfield and dumped by Coleman. That's his quickness.
He takes a hard inside angle charge. This is a great job by Tom Olivadotti. I mean, I give credit to Marco Coleman for making the play, but I give a lot of credit to Tom Olivadotti for calling the slant based upon the tendency of the offense and putting Coleman in the situation to make a play. He's got athletes now that can make plays. All he wants to do is put him in the right situation. That's a great call.
They moved him to down lineman from linebacker in the 4th game to keep their best athletes on the field. Now they wanted to go for the field goal, and Blanchard will burn a timeout. 6 seconds on the play clock. The Jets have to use a timeout. We'll be back in a moment. Not go for the field goal. He'll try to get the first down on 4th and 1. And I think it's a good call against the Olivedade defense. Even as well as they're playing, the Jets with that offense aren't going to get too many cracks to score.
And truthfully, with the patchwork offensive line, you run the play action fake. You give your quarterback a chance to mature in one play. Make a play.
A.B. Brown lowers the head. It didn't look like he made it. He did not. Jarvis Williams came sailing up from the secondary. David Griggs was in there too, so was Klingbeil.
The key to stopping the run is controlling the center. There he is, Klingbeil. There's Sweeney. He wins it this time. The big guy inside, number 99, feels the block, then gets help. Cross does a nice job of coming over from the other side. Klingbeil fights it off. He creates the stalemate, allows Jeff Cross to come in and Jarvis Williams to finish off.
So the Dolphins take over at the 32. Give it to him. Stopped at the 34. And Joe, I know what you would have called had you been given the choice on that play.
Well, it would have been, it's at least 10 years since I would have been given the choice. But I probably would have tried to play action. But while you're on the sidelines, Dan Marino wanted to see what the Jets were trying to do to him. Now, it used to be you get those little Polaroids. Now they're up to 8x10s. So, I mean, you're almost seeing these guys in life size. He wants to see what kind of defenses they're trying to play against him on different downs.
2nd and 8. Marino hits. Nice catch, and R.J. Coors just flattens him at the 35. Boy, this defense has played an outstanding game for the Jets. And Miami, Joe, is letting New York hang around.
Remember Thursday night, Atlanta at New Orleans, don't put them away, don't put them away, and all of a sudden you get yourself 60 minutes of football. That's what's happening here for the Dolphins tonight. They've got to take advantage, and they've got to do it throwing the football. Pete Carroll is absolutely challenging Don Shula and saying, I'm not going to let you run on him.
And just a myriad of injuries to the Jets, and you have to take your hat off to them with the courage they played tonight. Marino for Martin. He couldn't hold it. McMillan was beaten, but he got back, and it looked like a catchable ball for Tony Martin.
Tony Martin has really got to start to develop as a way. He does a great job at the line. Reminds me a bit of Jerry Rice off the line, but that looks like about where he's got a chance to make a play. You got to make this catch. It does two things. It helps his confidence, but it would only help Dan Marino's confidence in him.
Roby. Mathis can't get there, and a punt that's angling out of bounds, and it goes out near the 25-yard line. A punt of 39, and a very upset Dan Marino still has a one-touchdown lead. 7 to go, third quarter. Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann with you during that last timeout. How upset was Dan Marino? That upset. Martin couldn't come down with that last catch. Very upset after the last interception. You wouldn't want to be the guy on the other end of that phone.
I've been there, and he wants to know what he's getting. He's still trying to get communication and say, what am I getting on the field in first and second and third down?
Can the Jets do anything with it on offense? Nagel, nice fake. Throws over the middle and has it complete out to the 42-yard line. That is the first play in a long time that looks like it's been in sync, and Rob Moore made the catch.
And Browning Nagle, he's just setting up. Everything is in slow motion. He's thinking. You can see he's thinking. He doesn't get away from the center. You know, we're running it in slow motion, but that's about as fast as he ran the play. Now that's what he does best, is fire the ball. Nice catch by Moore. Way to hang on. Browning Nagle still thinking an awful lot on the field.
Jets up to the 43, first down. Scotty Graham, the fullback, cracked at the line of scrimmage. He got up to maybe the 45-yard line. Joining us tonight in South Florida, the airship Shamu. Steve Adams and Alan Judd out of Orlando, Florida, the pilots, and that is also the home of Shamu. They represent SeaWorld parks in Florida, California, Ohio, and Texas. What a beautiful stadium and a beautiful sight on a Sunday night that is. A great facility.
A beautiful weekend down here.
Yeah, sure has. Got to go back to the Northeast soon, though, don't we? Nagle has his tight end, Mark Boyer, over the middle. In Dolphin territory again, Grimsley and Hollier make the tackle for Miami. It's about 2 yards short of a first down.
Can you sense, Mike, I know you never played the position, but can you sense Browning Nagle just getting a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more confident? All you need is really one positive thing to happen.
Exactly.
And a lot of times the tight ends help you out. Boyer releases. Coleman's not going to turn him loose. Not totally free. Boyer does a nice job with the catch and then protect the ball.
Boyer was just lucky to survive getting off the line of scrimmage. Play action by Nagle. Wants it all. Moore, touchdown. Talk about a confidence builder.
That's the way it is. I mean, the ball gets hung up in the lights. Rob Moore focuses on it. J.B. Brown lost sight of it. And the ball carries into the end zone. Take a look. We'll give you a look-see from our goalpost cam. Good play action fake. Good job. Fools everybody. He has a chance to set up with no pressure and uses that gun. Now, right here. Troy Vincent actually gets turned around, not J.B. Brown. Gets lost.
The point after just gets through, and Rob Moore, his only 2 catches of the night on that drive, 19 and 48 yards, and Brian Nagle's first score tonight.
The half act the world. 115 yards rushing, 62 yards receiving, a $177 overall. Thermal coming up big in the big games. He's our player of the day. Let's go back to Miami.
All right, thanks, Chris. And a great player he is. We'll see him next week as Buffalo will go against Houston on Sunday night. Joe, you made an excellent point before. You let a team hang around long enough and you can get burned, and that's exactly what happened to the Dolphins.
Hey, somebody's calling to say something good. Look, a smile. Santa Claus. And finally, Walt Harris is finally saying, Browning, that was well executed. He probably hasn't heard that in quite a while.
Parmalee, 2 yards deep, and he'll keep it there.
The play action is what really sets this play up. See Oliver come up and rush. He makes the play. Nagle has a chance to set and fire. Troy Vincent has no help back there with him. Not a chance.
So Miami takes over with 1:33 to go in the third quarter from its own 20. Play action. Tipped into the air and picked off. Bobby Houston, touchdown Jets. Holy cow. Dan Marino's second interception of the night, returned for 20 yards for a touchdown.
And Bruce Coslet is watching his football team just come together one play at a time.
And Miami has to win this game to clinch a spot in the playoffs. But the Jets aren't going away quietly. Blanchard for the point after. Second year out of North Carolina State. They picked him up Plan B last year from Atlanta.
This play is made just by the tip. Left part of your screen. Good play action fake. Mo Lewis puts pressure on. But there, Marvin Washington just tips the ball up in the air. And Bobby Houston takes the old spinner for 6. Marino with the fake. Looks, Marvin Washington. Dan's got plenty of time. Does a nice job avoiding it. He just gets his hand in the air. Bobby Houston just waiting for it to fall out of the sky. The only one thing good about that is Dan Marino gets to get back on the field and not have to stand there with the frustration on the sideline.
Marvin Washington, Dennis Bird's closest friend on this ball club.
And Keith Jackson is the intended receiver. He trips over the referee. I mean, if the ball was thrown, there's no telling what would have happened cleanly.
We've seen something like that 4 or 5 times this year.
Those crossing patterns.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, they used officials quite often as picks in the middle.
And Bobby Houston has got a Christmas present he'll take home and put under his tree. He earned that one. Parmalee and Williams are deep waiting for the kickoff, and 73,000 people are sitting silently stunned. They came for a celebration tonight. Say, hey, we're in the playoffs. Now, there's a question of whether they'll win the game. And there's a lot of smiles in Buffalo right now. Parmalee from the 3. Out across the 25 to about the 28-yard line. Join us next Sunday. That's starting at noon Eastern, and game day comes your way. Of course, that means the home field advantage. Here's Higgs as they go back to the ground, and Kyle Clifton makes the tackle after a gain of 3, and some unhappy Miami fans booing a little bit right now.
I'm going to make what I think is not a guess, but an assumption of what's going to be called on second down. I don't believe they're going to run this ball again. I still believe that as long as Dan Marino's on the field, you've got a chance. They just need to get a little confidence. Tony Martin's got to make a catch and help Dan out, because with Clayton out, he's only got really Jackson and Duper to go to.
And Clayton diagnosed with a bruised lung. Delay to Higgs. Page threw a huge block for him. First down, Miami. You can't say enough about Tony Page as a blocking back. When he draws a bead on somebody, he gets them.
The big lead blocker. Jackson in motion. 49 is going to come into your picture. There it is, left part of your screen. Stands up Mo Lewis. Gives Mark Higgs an opportunity to pick up the first down.
And that's going to be the final play of the third quarter from beautiful Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami. The Jets, who strike quickly, have taken a 7-point lead. The game and guarantee a spot in the playoffs. Now, if they lose, Buffalo clinches the AFC East and home field advantage, and the Dolphins have to start worrying about getting their offense cranked up. If they get in the playoffs, can they do anything?
It's the continuing saga of little things that jump up and bite them. The little sacks, the little missed blocks, the ball batted up in the air, run back for a touchdown. Dan Marino has got to take control of this game the way he knows how. He's got to put the ball in the air. He's got to get it to Keith Jackson. Mark Duper's been a totally forgotten man in this offense tonight. And Tony Martin had one opportunity to make a play. Somewhere in this quarter, he's got to make one for Dan.
Might look to Mark Duper, too. He does not have a catch tonight. Higgs. Big run by the 5'7" Mark Higgs. He knocked Coors backwards as he hit him. Kyle Clifton made another tackle. Our Budweiser storyline from Miami, Florida. Browning Nagel has come on in the second half. He had the 2 interceptions, got the 1 touchdown pass. Anemic numbers for Dan Marino. You hardly ever see numbers like this. Oliver with 2 interceptions for Miami, and the Jets with those 2 touchdowns in 16 seconds in the 3rd period. Higgs again. Broke a tackle across midfield to the Jets' 43-yard line.
That was interesting, Mike, talking to Richmond Webb this week. He said, when we can run the ball, we can dictate to the defenses and keep them guessing. It helps us out from an offensive standpoint. We can make the blocks. This is Marvin Washington has got to guess now. Should I be a pass rusher or should I try and support against the run? Obviously, that Dolphin offense has got the Jets guessing.
16 carries, 84 yards for Higgs. Marino deep down the sideline for Martin, and Brim got right in front of him. Now, you can block a receiver by sort of gliding into his path, but not turn around in front and grab him.
Well, what you do is you have to get in front of him and then look back for the ball. It's called incidental contact then. I don't think Michael Brim did that at all.
Defensive pass interference, number 43. First down.
Number 43, Michael Brim. Tony Martin does a little out and up. He's on the sidelines. Now, the thing is, well, Brim reaches back, but I got to question whether that ball's catchable or not, to be honest with you. I don't think Tony Martin would have caught up to it if he was running full stride with nobody in front of him.
Huge penalty puts the ball at the 10, 1st and goal. Higgs hit in the backfield by Washington.
Pete Carroll looking down his short list of what he wants to do in the goal line area. We saw Marco Coleman make a great play by slicing down. Here comes Marvin Washington. He just slices right down in front of the cutoff. He guessed right. Thought it was going left, and it did.
4-year man out of Idaho. Marino with a lot of time, now pressured, and just throws it away. Well, if they don't call intentional grounding on that one, they're never going to call it. There was not a soul within 20 yards.
There comes a point when you play a certain amount of years, you don't get those calls. And that's really what it is. I mean, he was trying to avoid a sack. There was no question about that. There wasn't a wide receiver in the area. That's why I don't like the rule. Now watch this. He's going to try and hit the pylon. How accurate is he? Pretty close. Not bad.
The referee was the only living thing within 20 yards of that. 3rd down from the 14. Comes the blitz. Marino had that one slip out of his hand. Throwing for Freddie Banks. That almost came out sideways.
This is when Dan went inside the 20, inside the 20 to his teammates. All this is, the inside guy breaks out quick. The outside guy runs a quick post. That time, Freddie Banks can't make a play on a low ball.
So Stoyanovich will come on to try a 31-yard field goal. And Miami cuts the lead to 4. Stoyanovich with his 26th field goal of the season. On the game, the Jets defense, who have turned in an outstanding performance tonight. saw Miami cut the lead to 4 on the Stoyanovich field goal. And somehow Pete Carroll has managed to keep them together. Stoyanovich kicking to Brown and Mathis. Mathis from the 9. And Terrence Mathis out to the 36-yard line where A.B. Brown made the tackle. College basketball coming your way with a Maui in one of the greatest upsets of the century. Jets at the 35. A.B. Brown, the single setback behind Nagel. Throws to Burkett on first down. Burkett will get about 9 yards before he goes out of bounds at the 44. Troy Vincent collared him.
Bruce Gosselin challenged Browning Nagel earlier in the week. And really the second half, I think he's really regrouped. I mean, he's getting away. First of all, he's getting good exchanges. That was a good start to get the football. Hasn't tripped yet. That's another good start. Gosselin's got to be a lot happier with what he sees out of his quarterback this half.
He may have issued him another challenge in the locker room at halftime. Veteran Jim Sweeney over the ball on 2nd and 1. A.B. Brown, first down, near the 48-yard line.
Well, that patchwork Jet offensive line has really done an excellent job. And that's the toughest thing. When you start moving people around, it's to be able to pass block, you're basically taking on a guy ahead of you. But to coordinate some kind of a running attack with new people, coaches deserve an awful lot of credit. Larry Bigtall, the offensive line coach, has been a magician up front.
And they had to make another change tonight with Jeff Criswell's injury. 1st and 10, New York Jets. Movement along the line. Coleman jumped, and then Malamala jumped in response to him.
Before this now, number 70, false start. 5-yard, it's still first down.
Malamala shaking his head.
Number 70's watching number 90. Tight end goes in motion. Number 70 moves. He goes, boo! Boo!
You'd move too if Coleman was moving across from you. 1st and 15. Play action by Nagel again. He'll run it. Browning Nagel. Diving out of bounds inside the 40. A gain of 19.
Looking for somebody to hit him. Now, there was a case of a guy running with looking for somebody to just say, knock me down. Again, excellent play action faking. And this is made up by the run. The running back has to carry it out as well. They caught the Dolphins in a blitz. He comes out around the corner, says, I'm not even hesitating. Somebody hit me. Somebody, no, I'm running out of bounds.
The highest compliment he's ever been paid was by his college coach, Howard Schnellenberger, who said he was the spitting image of Jim Kelly. That's not bad. Brown. And the Jets offensive line moving the pile here in the second half. That play down to the 34-yard line.
If you're Tom Olivadotti, the defensive coordinator of the Dolphins, I think you let your corners go one-on-one. Put pressure on Browning Nagel. Make him cough it up. Make him make a bad throw. Or make him beat you. You can't let him run the football and take time off the clock.
Yards by half. Miami with 40 yards total offense in the second half. Do you believe that? Jets leading at 14-10. 9:04 to go in the game. 2nd and 6. Graham runs into his own man, and then the Dolphins swarm on him. Outside the 32, the first man there, Marco Coleman.
And you see the strong safety, Lewis Oliver, from his the free safety position, come up in support. Number 99, Chuck Klingbeil. He's the one that's causing the wall. You can't move that nose tackle, you won't run the football. Roger Duffy trying to move him out, but just couldn't.
The Jets face a 3rd and 4. Klingbeil, an undersized nose tackle, a 265, a lot like Greg Cragen in Denver. And Nagel will use a timeout on 3rd and 4. That leaves them with 1 for the rest of the ball game. We'll be back to Miami in a moment. Minutes and 10 seconds to go in the game from Miami.
There are times, Mike, when it's good to use a timeout. And now Nagel will burn this one. You see him, he's looking at the 30-second clock. He sees it ticking down, 4-5, calmly goes to the official, timeout. Now you expect the coach to be upset with him. He says, no way, babes. Nice job. Good decision. You're in scoring position. You want to use a good usage of the timeout.
The Miami defense will have to dig in on 3rd and 4. From here, it would be about a 50-yard field goal attempt. Knocked away, cuts. There is a flag down on the play.
And it's going to be defensive holding.
Number 36 of the defense, automatic first down.
That's Stephen Braggs, and it's an automatic first down for the Jets.
Coach Shula trying to get the officials' attention and say, listen, the ball was thrown before the penalty was committed. I don't think he's going to win that argument. Matter of fact, I'm sure he's not going to win that argument.
Yeah. Spotted at the 28 for the Jets. Already up 14-10 in scoring range again. Almost picked off. John Grimsley had his hands on it. Here's another guy who's helped the Dolphin defense a lot. They traded for him with Houston last year. He tore up a knee, ripped 3 tendons in it, and he's able to come back this year. A big boost for them.
He makes a play here, but you know what really saves this play for the Jets and doesn't allow it to happen for the Dolphins is the strength of the throwing arm of Browning Nagel. He threw it so hard, and he is focused on this receiver all the way. He just flat guns it. And John Grimsley doesn't stand a chance because it's there so quick.
2nd and 10. Brown. Inside the 25-yard line. And it was David Griggs again on a tackle and a little pushing and shoving after. The Jets have just had so many injuries. And having to deal with the situation with Dennis Byrd, an emotional roller coaster for this ball club. They upset Buffalo 2 weeks ago, come back to lose to the Colts, and now they're trying to upset Miami. Kenny O'Brien talking with Bruce Cosler. Third and 6. Double reverse. Moore. To the 10. To the 3. Holy cow, what a time to pull out that one. Nagel to Mathis to Moore on the double reverse.
They gave it to Terrence Mathis in the first half to set this up. Watch this. There's the handoff. Now Rob Moore comes from the other side. The Dolphins in great pursuit. Excellent block out front. Moore trying to turn it on. Kerry Glenn just manages to get a foot. Browning Nagel trying to block Marco Coleman. That's what's known as a get-in-your-way type shot.
He got a shoulder in there, though. First and goal for the Jets. A.B. Brown, and they'll blow this one dead. It looked like the play clock got down to 0.
The offense,
The Jets have
5
been
yards, it's
awfully
still
close.
first down.
All night. They've been down to 3 seconds, 4 seconds.
Joe, with so many new players in the lineup, people switching positions, it makes it difficult to keep that continuity going, and you just know somebody in the huddle is going to say, what's that?
Doesn't matter. If you're the it falls on the burden of the quarterback. A lot of times, if you start to call a play and you can't get it out and you start over, you're going to use the clock up. I think it's more the quarterback calling plays than anybody asking questions in a huddle.
The Jets have been awful inside the 20, as you saw. Now it's first and goal from the 8. Brown got maybe a yard. Cox is there along with Klingbeil.
Browning Nagel has got to do one thing and one thing only. He has got to not throw the ball into traffic. If a pass is called, nobody's there, he can afford to take a sack down this close, or he can afford to give a souvenir to somebody in the stands. Those are the two things he can do.
And the clock becoming a factor, under 5.5 minutes to go. Touchdown here would mean that Miami would have to score 2 touchdowns to win it. And remember, they need a win to get in the playoffs. Fake the end around, and Cox will sack Nagel. Brian Cox with his 14th sack of the year, #1 among AFC linebackers.
There he is, number 51. He doesn't buy the reverse. He's staying right with number 8. Comes around on the blitz, feels it, sees it, reads it. Oh, they had a play, too.
Well, you know, after the play he made in the third quarter, the 30-yard penalty, that he wanted to do something to acquit himself. 3rd and goal from the 17. A.B. Brown to the 13-yard line. He's down. That ball did not come loose. Kerry Glenn made the stop. And Don Shula now looking at the clock, wanting to stop it. As you've pointed out so often during the year, you start using your timeouts earlier and earlier.
You know, you're really using you're trying to do clock management at 4.5 minutes now in the game with the 45-second clock. If you don't do it, you're not going to have any time left on the clock once you hit 2 minutes. So all of a sudden, your 2-minute drill is becoming a 4.5-minute drill.
That's Kerry Blanchard, who has hit 15 out of 21 this year. He was with New Orleans when Morton Anderson was injured, kicked very well, and the Jets picked him up. Of course, coming up right after our broadcast, SportsCenter, Dan Patrick and Keith. Blanchard with a field goal opportunity here can give the Jets a 7-point lead with 4:24 left to go in the game. And the way the Jets defense has been playing, that's a pretty good lead.
Browning Nagel talking to Walt Harris, his quarterback coach upstairs.
And Marino, who most of the time has just had a miserable night, waiting for another opportunity to lead that offense.
We talk a lot about John Elway's ability to bring a team back to victory. I think if you look at the list of guys who've made great comebacks, you won't find Dan Marino too far down that list either.
It'd be tough not to take him in a situation where you needed to go 80 yards for a touchdown. But if you want the numbers, it's second-year man Browning Nagel, not the future Hall of Famer Dan Marino. 30-yard field goal attempt for Blanchard. Aguiar is the holder. There is a flag down on the play.
False start on the offense. It's still 4th down.
So they'll have to
Prior to the
try it
snap.
again.
All right, the Dolphins' special teams are taking advantage of Al Roberts' special teams by Al having young guys. Malamala in there is a rookie out of Washington, and all anybody has to do is make a quick move in front of him, and he flinches.
So now Blanchard has to try it from 35 yards away. Just got it inside the left post, but got it inside. He did. Blanchard connects on the field goal, and the Jets extend their lead to 7 points with 4:16 to go. 4:16 to go in the ball game. How about the NFC playoff picture to get you up to date? And we'll show that to you after the kickoff as Aguiar tees it up at the 35. Boy, the Jets look for all the world like they couldn't score if this game went on for a month. And right now they're up 17-10.
They've done it in a lot of unique ways. The quarterback's 20 yards rushing, the wide receivers have 30, and the running backs have 50.
Parmalee and Williams right at the 2. Parmalee driven into the end zone, and the Dolphins will need to go 80 yards. Now let's take a look at the NFC playoff picture. Dallas wins a playoff berth in the East. Minnesota has clinched the Central Division. San Francisco clinches the West. And here's the wild card situation. New Orleans at 11-4 is already in. Philadelphia will play Sunday against the Giants. The Redskins.
If you don't make it and you throw the ball, the worst you have is incompletion. You don't have to use a timeout. And I think that's what I don't understand is the pass, you got the ball in Dan's hands, and you don't get a guy like Mo Lewis, 57, who's blitzing anyway. I mean, nobody to block him. And if Mo Lewis doesn't make the play, Washington's there, and half the defensive line are the Jets. So I question that one only because, again, you lose a timeout at a critical time of the game.
Sure did get a lot of help, and Pete Carroll will now try to come up with something on 4th and 2. What does Miami call on 4th and 2?
I think you put the ball in Dan Marino's hands. You get Bobby Humphrey, you either try and get the ball to Bobby Humphrey, or my guess would be Keith Jackson. He'd be the guy I'd try and get the ball to somehow, some way.
4 wideouts. Jackson is one of them, and Humphrey in the backfield on 4th and 2. Comes the blitz. Marino unloads. Complete to Martin. Blanker screen, and Martin. Touchdown. And Bruce Coslett is out on the field. He is beside himself. He thought the Dolphins were throwing illegal blocks on that play on a flanker screen. That's a great play.
Well, what did I tell you? Tony, that play, that could set up Tony Martin's career. He showed, I mean, if Jerry Rice is so great, so incredibly great, but Tony Martin has a similar build, comes off the ball with the same kind of quickness, and we saw a Jerry Rice burst of speed up the middle.
Stoyanovich to tie. He missed it. Holy cow. The second missed extra point of the season for Pete Stoyanovich, the usually reliable place kicker for Miami.
Oh, my. I think everybody just sort of put that one down as a tie. I mean, that's where we were going to go. Woo. There it is. Good snap. Good placement. He just pushes it out to the right. The guy on the right is Pete Carroll. He can't believe it. He's unbelievable. Oh, choke.
Talk about an early Christmas gift.
Oh, you got 2:30 to go.
look at Bruce Coslett. He is really upset about that touchdown.
And what he's upset about is watch Keith Jackson. Watch what he does. He's going to go out and block the corner coming up on Tony Martin. Does he block him before the ball is caught? There's the block. I think it's good timing. Martin just turns it on. It's all kinds of speed.
Well, it looked like perfect timing.
I think it was well timed. Excellent call. Well, Marino just gets this thing out in such a hurry, and Martin just gets behind it, just like a punt return. The offensive linemen are out front as far as they can get, and the rest is Tony Martin.
Boy, and he got a wave of support. And Marino and Coslett got after each other a little bit at the end of that play.
He's yelling at Marino. He's saying, your linemen were downfield. That's the point he was trying to make to him.
Miami now has one timeout left with 2:30 to go. The Jets do not have that hands team up there, and now they're going to have to use a timeout because if Miami goes for the onside kick, they had their normal kick return formation up at the 45-yard line.
I think it would have been the wrong decision for Miami to try an onside kick here. It's 2:30 left. They've got one timeout left. You got the 2-minute, okay? So what's the worst? If you kick it deep, it goes down, they run a play, call a timeout. Run another play, go to 2-minute. The worst you're going to have is a minute and, let me see, a minute and 15 seconds to go,
right,
and you get them backed up. If you try an onside kick and you miss it, then you're going to have a whole lot more distance to go. So that's why I'm saying kick it deep. Use your time. You got to stop him, obviously.
Sure.
Use your timeout. Let the 2-minute help you. Put the ball. Stoyanovich has kicked in practice a 71-yard field goal. He's 3 for 8 over 50, but he's got the leg to kick a long one. I think you kick it deep.
Well, the other factor here is the Jets have done a good job at returning kickoffs tonight.
Yeah, but they don't have anybody back deep.
No, they're guarding against it. You're right. And Stoyanovich, who had it laying on its side, is now going to tee it straight up.
I'll tell you something else that works. You got to remember, the clock only starts when a Jet touches it. If he kicks this thing into the end zone, the Dolphins will lose no time on the clock.
Rob Carpenter is back there with Mathis. And the Jets hedging their bets. They have 9 men up waiting for the onside kick and 2 back. And they will kick it deep. Mathis from near the goal line. And goes out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
Thank you, Terrence Mathis. I mean, he really saved them. He really saved them only about 3 or 4 seconds. But still, right now, time is of the essence.
Spot the ball at the 14-yard line. Remember, Miami has one timeout left, and as Joe pointed out, they'll be able to use the 2-minute warning to stop it again.
You stop them here, you get the ball back somewhere around midfield, and you give Stoyanovich an excellent opportunity to have a winning opportunity to kick the field goal.
But you have to stop him. Scotty Graham is the single running back. He'll get
that Scotty Graham is only going to hold on to the ball. If he had 3 hands, he's hold on to it. Now he's going to cover up, not try and make a play. Brings up a 3rd down scenario. Do you run a play action pass if you're the Jets on 3rd down to try and pick the 1st down up? I think you do. Because you're 4 and 10 and you're going nowhere.
Well, I don't like the idea of stopping the clock and giving the Dolphins an extra 45 seconds because they have no timeouts left.
You tell the quarterback, if the receiver's not open, take the play. Because if you run play action, you're not going to be deep in the pocket anyway. That's what I think those are the things that Bruce Coslett's thinking about.
The Jets have beaten the Dolphins 3 straight times, trying to make it 4. 2nd and 9. A.B. Brown will get the carry. Runs into a stone wall at the 17.
Miami's defense doing their job.
They'll let it run down to the 2-minute warning. Miami out of timeouts. The Jets will face a 3rd and 7 when we come back. Texas, they're getting a great view of it, and so are you. The Miami defense needing to stop the Jets on 3rd and 6. They have no timeouts left. They must stop them, force the punt, and hope that the Dolphins can get into field goal territory for Stoyanovich.
And here's a reminder, it's a 25-second clock, not a 45-second clock after the timeout.
Nagel comes out with 3 wide receivers and 1 back. A.B. Brown. Brown on the carry, hit in the backfield, stopped at the 15. Klingbeil and Cox.
Dolphins get the ball back right around 1 minute 15 seconds. They're probably only going to have to move the ball 20 yards. Plenty of time for Dan Marino.
And Stoyanovich looking for redemption after missing the extra point that could have tied it. And Aguiar hoping for a good punt. Scott Miller waits near the 40. Clock continues to run down to 1:17. Dolphins put on a good rush, and Aguiar with an awful kick that will be down at the Jets' 45, a punt of only 29 yards. And I tell you what, right now, Stoyanovich would have a chance to kick a field goal. It's 62.
From right there. Now remember, Marino's going to have to utilize the sidelines and kill the clock because he doesn't have any timeouts. So if he's going to throw one down the middle, it's going to have to be of a pretty good distance.
A minute 5. With no timeouts, of course, you can throw over the middle. You just have to hustle up to the line of scrimmage. You burn a lot of time off the clock. But a minute 5 can be an eternity in this situation.
Jets defense has played so tough all night.
Marino to Banks. And Banks gets out of bounds near the 35-yard line. That took 5 seconds.
You watch Dan work and work and work. He's not going to try and force anything down the middle unless he knows he can get 6 out of it.
Pete Stoyanovich on the sideline, and Bruce Kozlik suffering in the last minute. He's seen a great effort tonight, doesn't want it to slip away. And jumping offside.
Jeff Dallenbach just did rock a little bit at the right tackle position. That's going to be illegal motion.
Before the snap, false start on the offense. 5 yards is still first down.
He just rocks ever so slightly. That's all you have to do is make just a little bit of a movement.
Donald Jones came across, gets the penalty that spots it back near the 40. Jones jumps this time. Flag is down. Marino deep sideline. Martin can't get there. McMillan right with him.
They got the 5 back that they gave back.
Offside, defense, 5 yards, still first down.
Pete Carroll hoping against hope that his team can come up with the big play. Donald Jones signed day before yesterday as the Jets continue to add people to the roster because of injuries. Just trying to get healthy bodies out there.
And defensively, the Jets put Eric McMillan out at the corner. Marvin Washington lining up to put pressure on.
Still 1st and 10 for Miami after the 2 penalties. And Washington jumps.
Now, false start, number 13.
And this will go against Miami. They will call it on Marino. That may be the first time I've seen that all year long.
I don't know how you can do that out of the shot. I understand under the center calling head bobs. But if you're back here, you know, you have to yell. You've got 73,000 people screaming. That's nothing different than Dan Marino's done all night. I don't agree with it, especially in a shotgun.
Or that he's done every game of his career. What a bizarre sequence. Marino throwing on the run, throws incomplete with 46 seconds to go in the game.
Sometimes you can't find the open receiver. There's Brim against Duper. Duper runs this. Dan Marino gets flushed, and Dupe hasn't had a catch all night. He'd love to have one that sets up a winning field goal.
2nd and 15 for Miami. 46 seconds to go in the game. No timeouts. They're down by 1. Duper still looking for his first catch of the night. Marino throws complete to the sideline. Another first down, and Duper gets the first grab, a gain of 18.
Well, we saw Mark Duper with the fake in, fake out. Here it is again. He starts in, and it's the same play to the other side. That's all it is. Mark Duper with the big play, knows where the sideline is. Marino just rockets this thing out low and hard. And he just knows no matter where he puts it, Duper's going to make a play.
Marino now over the 200-yard mark. 39 seconds to go in the game. Stoyanovich, who has had 7 field goals in overtime or the 4th quarter to win or tie in his career. Get the ball down to the 20. Miami obviously positioning themselves for Stoyanovich.
I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. I think run the little delays, do the stuff out. You know, you're down on the 20 seconds now. Too many bad things can happen when you try and run the ball.
Now will he spike it and kill the clock? He will. With 12 seconds to go.
I think they're going to try the field goal on 3rd down.
They sure are. The last time Stoyanovich was in this situation, he kicked a 52-yarder against Houston with 2 seconds left in the game to win it 19-16. And the Jets, who have fought so hard tonight, see it on the verge of slipping away. Of course, they had the lead because Stoyanovich missed the extra point that would have tied it. 37 yards officially. Dolphins win it.
Is Pete Stoyanovich. He got a second chance. He just absolutely nailed this thing dead down the middle. There is no doubt whatsoever. That thing splits the uprights. You know, 3 minutes ago, there were 46 guys plus coaches who really didn't like him. Now there's a whole bunch of people in his stands and everywhere that really like that little guy.
And Dan Marino has brought them back again.
Only had to travel 25 yards, but still did a nice job with it.
23rd time in his career he's brought them back in the fourth quarter. 7 seconds to go. A win puts them in the playoffs, and they still have a shot at the division. They'll play New England next week in their final game, while Buffalo has to face Houston. Mathis and McMillan. Wait at the 5 for Stojanovic. Low line drive. McMillan. That's it. The Dolphins pull it out. And they're in the playoffs with a 19-17 win over the Jets. A bitter pill to swallow for Bruce Coslett, who saw his team fight all night long. These are the updated standings. Miami gets back to within a game of Buffalo. And the outcome of next week's games will determine the AFC East title. What a ball game. Our final score, Miami 19, the New York Jets 17. For Joe Theismann and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night and Merry Christmas from Miami. SportsCenter is next after this.